Being likable it's a likable thing. In this video, we're going to talk about 7 things that you can do to be a more likable boss. Welcome to the channel, Leadership with Mike. On this channel, I help new managers become more confident leaders, and I do that with no nonsense sense, if that makes any sense. Now, before we get into this video, download the free PDF of 14 things that managers need to know or need to do to have more self-confidence in the job you were chosen to do. So download that now. Okay, we're going to get into the 7 things that you can easily do starting today to be a more likable leader. Do you need to be likable to get your job done? No, absolutely not. Does it make your life better? Does it make life easier? 100% without question it does. Now, just so you know, this video is sponsored by me, but I'm going to tell you more about that in just a few minutes. The first thing you're going to do as a leader who wants to be likable is you're not going to play favorites. You may think, well, if I pick the favorite, those people will like me. What people like is somebody who is leading the team who is fair. Of course, you're going to have people that you may lean on for certain tasks or projects, but as much as you can, you want to be as fair as possible. Yes, some people are going to annoy you, but you still have to be fair to them. That is what a good leader does. That being said, the next thing is that great leaders or likable leaders, they don't treat everyone the same. They treat everybody equally, but they do not treat them identically. Listen, you and me are obviously different people. We have different needs. We have different responsibilities outside of work. So we can't have a boss that treats us the exact same because you may have different requirements or needs that I don't. As a likable leader, you're going to use your EQ, your emotional intelligence, and pick up on how you can best serve people. Again, you want to be fair. You want to treat people equally, but you do not want to be treating them as identical because clearly we're not the same people. This may come across a touch harsh, but you need to fire or remove people that do not fit the team. So you may be saying, so Mike, I need to fire people and that's going to make me likable? Yeah. I remember working at a restaurant and there was a guy who had been there for 5 years, since the restaurant opened their doors. But after 5 years, he started to become a cancer to the team. He was bitching about everything. Nothing was right. Everything that was happening was wrong. The tables weren't being distributed equally. He was doing too much cleaning. He was spoken to, and this is what you have to do as a leader. You have to speak to this person or these people, and you have to make it clear what the expectations are. And you have to make it clear of what the results, the end results, could end up being if things are not changed. This individual was told what would happen. And after a few weeks of not making any changes on his own, the company, they let him go. They paid him a severance and let him go. People were all up in arms about he was a founding member of this restaurant. But within a few days, the attitude of the restaurant all of a sudden started to feel better, started to feel more fun and enjoyable. The restaurant and the leadership team did what they had to do, and they got rid of somebody who was not being part of a productive part of the team anymore. Now that somebody, don't worry, he got a job and he's doing well. It was time for him to move on. The leadership of the company just had to help him go and do his thing. The next thing you need to do in order to be likable, and again, I don't want to say the same like we're trying to make everybody like us, and no, but you do want to be seen as a likable person, as a fair person. So what you want to be able to do is when you assign somebody, when you delegate a task to somebody, step back and let them do the task. Do not micromanage it. Do not put your fingers in it. You've chosen somebody and you've delegated a task to them because you believe they can do it. So let them do it. If this is an issue for you, or if you think delegation, I'm not so good at it, welcome to an opportunity that I provide. consider grabbing my Delegation 101 course. It tells you the basics of how to delegate, when not to delegate. So if you have a hard time getting people to do things because you don't want to let it go or you don't want to come across as too bossy, this course will help you break down what you need to do, when you need to do it, and who you can select to do certain tasks. So grab it now. You want to be likable? You want to be trusted? Maybe trusted is a better word than likable. Likable feels like you're trying too hard. But if you want to be trusted, you need to be transparent of how work gets done. Be transparent. Why are you changing it? Is it just a whim? Because that's where people don't like. But if you can say, we need to change how we do this because, then at least the employees, your staff, they have an understanding as to why. Must you tell them why? No, of course. You're the boss. You can tell them to do whatever. That's not going to get you any friends. It's not going to get you a mutual trust or a mutual respect. So when you can, be transparent. Explain why things are happening or how it has to happen or when it has to happen. Try to be as open as you can. This might be hard for some people. You have to understand that as a manager, as a leader, you are going to make some mistakes. What you want to do when you make these mistakes, you need to own them. You need to make sure your team knows that you are responsible for your mistakes and how you're going to fix it. This builds a mutual trust because it's not you just harping on somebody because they made a mistake. You're also going to hold yourself accountable. You're going to hold yourself to the same standards that you hold your team. This is huge in building trust or likability. The other thing you want to do is if there's an issue, if you have an issue with the way your staff are doing certain things or not doing certain things, to be a trusted leader, to be a likable leader, you need to address them in the moment. Conflict is a good thing when done properly. One of the ways to do it properly is to do it in a timely manner. To call somebody or a group of people out on something that's not being done the way you like or the way it needs to be done, call out that behavior right away. It's called constructive criticism. It is a form of confrontation, but it's the best form because you are constructively helping them understand what they need to do or helping them realize what is kind of happening down the pipeline because they're doing something wrong or not quite correct. So in order to be likable, it's more important that you need to be trusted and you need to be respected. Do these 7 things, and I promise you, you will start to see that your team is trusting you more. You will start to see that your team is respecting you more. And when you see that, when you feel that, that's when you know you're a likable boss. So Mr. or Mrs. Likable, get your coffee, and let's move to the next video. Ciao.